Hello friends, welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be setting up the month of January in my health planner. We'll decorate all my new monthly tracking pages in a bright, colorful theme, so come plan with me. And I've got these washi tapes here all ready to go, along with a bunch of friction highlighters, which are erasable, and these Happy Planner sticker books, which I'll pull from. So, as you can see there, I am setting up some pages that I've recently created for my health planner for 2024. These layouts aren't available in my shop just yet. I am working out what is good about the pages and what maybe needs to be adjusted before I put them out there for public consumption. So just note that these pages aren't quite yet available for purchase. However, I did want to set it up and kind of show you guys how I'm planning to use the pages. And once I get all of the kinks worked out, maybe that will help you guys figure out if these might work for you as well. So I've already laid down some wax paper to get things started, and am working with the washi tape to begin. I have this really fun, almost rainbow washi with the text that says "Gotta work" and "Play hard," which I think works really nicely with my health planner. So I'm using that at the bottom of the pages since there's a little bit of extra room down there. I'm also going to be pulling out just these health icon style stickers in various colors from the Healthy Hero Happy Planner sticker book. Now, this is an old school sticker book, so if you're new to Happy Planner, there's very slight chance you'll be able to find this sticker book anywhere. But you can get an idea of what I'm doing and maybe be able to recreate that with other stickers. Basically, what I'm going to do is take the colors of the rainbow here and put different icons with those colors kind of going across to the page in a gradient style. Feel like that will be nice and bright and colorful, re-energize me maybe for the month to really kick things off in my health and wellness. So we're going to do that. I have 3 of these Healthy Hero books. A couple of them I got on clearance back in the day. And then I had, of course, purchased 1 or 2 outright when they first came out. So I have a few of these books, including a mini version, although I didn't end up using the mini at all. I'm just pulling out all 3 books because I've used various stickers in each one, so I just want to make sure I had the complete variety at my disposal. But anyway, you can see how I'm building out this spread. I've started with the gradient cluster at the bottom, and now I'm going to try something maybe similar here at the top. But we'll see. I've also already pinned in a lot on the right-handed page. Since this is the first time I'm using these layouts, I really don't know how it's going to go or how I want things to look just yet. So for the ability to work around what I needed for the month, I decided to write in my workout that I'm going to be following for January. That is what's below, and then what I'll use the monthly for is to actually track those workouts as well as pre-plan for those workouts so I know which day I will be doing what. I've got that in. I decided to move the cluster that I was building at the top down into the monthly there and make a little area with the quote I cut out into individual words almost, and then laid out horizontally instead of vertically, along with some washi tape. And now I'm doing another little cluster there in the top left corner just to balance things out. Like I said, this is the first time I'm using these spreads as is, so I'm just trying to get a feel for where I think things can go and what functional space I'm going to need. I'm not going to go crazy on the decor, although I do want lots of decor on this spread because they're mostly charts and, more functional things. So without that decor, they can be kind of dull or lifeless to look at. So definitely want to add some pizzazz to these pages. I just went ahead and whited out my brand name at the bottom since I was layering over some washi tape on that. And now I'm going to white out to the empty week at the bottom of the month, as well as the empty days that are before that. I'm also going to lay in here the cluster in the top left. I moved the habit trackers into a bit of a different position than they are on the health overview. The habit trackers are the same. I just kind of bumped them up, and I also changed this page to be able to be punched for a spine on the left or the right. And I did something similar here on the workouts page. I just think that'll be easier for you guys to customize if you are building out your planner and you just want the freedom to punch either side. A lot of my layouts are kind of spread oriented, where there's a spine in the center, and then I focus both pages either as a left or a right page. But with these more add-on type layouts, I figured that you guys would appreciate being able to use them on the left or the right. So I definitely built these pages accordingly. I also built them undated so that you can use them over and over again, but included a spot for the month to be written in at the top. And then also you can write in the days of the week that correspond to the numbers of the month. Just trying to make these as versatile as possible so I don't have to make a gazillion iterations of them, and hopefully that they'll meet everybody's needs with as little customization as possible. I've added in a few highlighting elements here, specifically in the habit area. And I'm going to go ahead and just write in the habits I plan to track. I'm basically going to keep my health habits here on this dashboard, even though I will have an annual tracker at the front of my planner. But I'm going to do these 4 habits here that are related to my health. I'm also going to write in the month and the days that correspond to the dates. And over here, just figuring out how to add a little bit more color. I think what I want to do is assign the types of workouts that I'm going to do with a color. So since I've decided that I'm going to be lifting 3 days a week on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, I'm using the teal green there for that. I usually walk with my friends on Wednesday and Fridays, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And then just to ease into this routine, I'm going to make an extra rest day on Monday, along with my normal rest day of Saturday. That, I think, will be enough to not be too much pressure, but working out 5 days a week consistently will be an improvement on my current workout schedule. So we're going to go with that. I've just highlighted the day so I can identify which day I'll be doing what. And then as I complete the exercise, I'll go in and write it on that day on the highlighted area. I'm using friction highlighters in case something happens and that does not work out, so I can go back and erase out the highlight I made if, say, I get sick or something and I can't work out certain days. That way I can also track, so pre-plan and track using the friction highlighters. Okay, so we moved on to the next spread. So this one is more about my meds and supplements and symptoms, so really geared towards my chronic illness and wellness. I'm just going to lay in some grid washi at the top and the bottom to add a little bit of color. But these charts take up pretty much the entire width of the page, or the height of the page, so there's not much room at the top and the bottom for decor. I did also try to design these pages to be able to be printed left or right, so there is a bit of space on the edges, and that will be a nice place to add some decor. I'm going to keep that same kind of gradient rainbow theme going with these icons, and I'm just going to butt up the outer edges of those two pages together and then lay in stickers across that abutment. That way I can use one set of stickers but get decor on both pages. I could have done this separately and it might have had a little bit more impact, but I didn't want to take forever also setting up these pages. It did take me a little while to get this all together, so I just wanted to make this as succinct as possible, specifically for this first month where I'm working things out and figuring out what's going to work for me. So just will lay in these colorful icon stickers in that rainbow colorway. And it's looking good. I'm liking that. I'll go ahead and write in the corresponding days now onto both of these charts. Let's separate these pages and then we'll finish kind of filling out these charts so that they're ready to go. This is the first time I'm actually using them, so I'm gonna go easy, just try some things and not go too overboard with color and variety until I really see how these work out. So I just added a little bit of a highlight there on the days of the month. And now I'm going to go ahead and write in the meds and supplements that I want to track for the month. I did realize as I was filling this out that there's a lot less space for me to write than there was in the horizontal version of this because I've kind of truncated that area for labeling the med and or supplement. So I may make an adjustment to that. We will see before that gets into my shop. I did feel like I could, use a little bit more space right there. I do like having the long bar across that I can divide up so that I can say, this grouping of things are vitamins, these ones are supplements, these ones are for skin, these ones are for allergies, that kind of thing, which I'm going to go ahead and label now. And so I'll try to figure out how to win a bit more space in that regard. And since I didn't really have that much more to track on this, I'm going to use the last 10 columns for a bit of mood, sleep, and stress tracking. I did want to try this before. I actually thought about doing a whole kind of separated chart for that, but let's just try this as is for this month and see how I like it and if it's something that I think would be a good addition to this layout. And then I realized in order to do what I'm planning on doing with this chart, I need to color code so that I can have all three of those each labeled on any individual day, but by color. So I went ahead and pulled out my 4-color pen and labeled out which one would be which color so it would be easy to see and track. So now we're on to the symptom tracker, and this one I'm just basically using the similar symptoms that I've already been tracking for 2023, I am giving a few of them a little bit more space, or, dividing them up. For example, swollen sinuses versus blocked sinuses used to be one thing and now it's two. So I've got all of those separated out. I'm also going to start adding in some triggers that I already kind of think I know. I didn't end up filling that out completely, so in case something else manifests itself and reveals itself to me as the month goes through, I can write that in. And again, just going to add a little bit of color here in the date area. And I think that's good for those spreads. Let's go ahead and move on to the last one we're going to set up here, which is my fasting hours tracker, which is at the very back of the planner. So this will live where normally like a notes page or a currently page would live in a standard planner. I replaced that out with this fasting tracker, and I think this will be a really handy tool. I have changed it if you saw my lineup video, but not my planner setup video. I used to have a 24-hour fasting tracker, and then I adjusted it to be only 12 hours for myself. If I put this in my shop, I'll offer multiple options where we'll do maybe like a 12-hour, a 16-hour, and a 24-hour tracker for those of us who have a little bit different schedules. 12 hours should be just enough for me. I tend to do one meal a day fasting at this stage of my life, so I don't usually eat more than 3 or 4 hours tops each day. And I've already dropped in some of that washi tape at the bottom since there's a little bit of room here. And I'm putting together another cluster of icons there with the various colors in a rainbow fashion. Just trying to work out a nice gradient flow. Since I kind of figured out what I was doing ahead of time on the other sheets, didn't really need the wax paper for this, since I could just build it out based off of the theme already created. Just need one more to kind of finish out the end of this gradient. See what we find. Blue is a tricky one in these icons to find, so I was having trouble finding just the right shade. And I think I found it, but I kind of have it going off the page, so I feel like I need to do the same thing on the opposite side. And so I just drop something in, and we'll trim that out. I'm going to go ahead and add in some of this grid washi here, even at the top, just for some added color up here. And once I'm done with all that, we will be done, friends. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye!